These are difficult times for all of us. IJS is urging people to act with kindness, not stigma and discrimination. People affected by COVID-19 are part of the solution and must be supported. Governments must respect the human rights and dignity of people affected by COVID-19. The experiences learned from the HIV epidemic can be applied to the fight against COVID-19. As in the AIDS response, governments should work with communities to find local solutions. Key populations must not bear the brunt of increased stigma and discrimination as a result of COVID-19 pandemic. My name is Eric, and welcome to the craziness that lives inside my head. After reading this online, the question that popped into my head was, why are some governments blaming the unvaccinated people for the variants? It is in my opinion that vaccination is a personal choice, since the governments weren't taking full responsibility for those who got severe side effects reactions to the vaccine, nor providing hospitalization and or burial compensation, but yet they want to mandate it, stigmatize it, and rule with fear-mongering. And I'm saying this because there was a case in Virginia where a black woman, this is in 2020, and I think it's still under investigation, she went and got her vaccination, she got vaccinated, walked to her car, she was feeling dizzy, and she couldn't drive. She sat there, and the people who administer the vaccine called 911, and she perished. They didn't want to say that she perished under the vaccine. They say she perished under the side effects of vaccines. And with that, they want to mandate it. For those of you who've heard previous podcasts of mine where I explain my feelings and experience with doctors, pharmaceuticals, scientists, then you know my opinion of them. They are human and not the imperial wizard of Oz when it comes to human conditions. I'm making a similarity here to the government response to COVID-19 versus HIV of the late 70s and 80s. When HIV hit the scene, it was called GRID, Gay-Related Immune Deficiency. Since it only hit the gay community, there were no shutdowns, mask wearing, and none of the pharmaceutical companies rushed to create a vaccine for it. The attitude of the country was indifference towards it, since you got it through sex, and it didn't affect them in their personal lives in the beginning. Then the next group of people was the heroin addicts. They started to perish from HIV, and of course, the government didn't set out mandates. Sex and drugs were the cause of the infection, not breathing the same air as your neighbors in Walmart. Okay. Then it came to light that HIV was more prevalent in Africa and among heterosexuals. I don't remember who making any recommendations on combating it. However, being that I was a black gay man, and I did hear rumors among my people that governments were trying to exterminate all gays and blacks from the planet. Of course, just like now in the beginning of COVID-19 in 2020, black people were heard thinking that our government had a secret plan to eradicate blacks from the economy and free themselves from that scorned history of slavery. So what does it all mean? Why am I on a rant? My rant is in favor of the unvaccinated wanting to make their own decision on getting vaccinated. not being ridiculed, mandated, or scapegoated. Some of my friends said two things to me about the unvaccinated. One, I believe in science. And two, you got your polio vaccination. You didn't know what was in that. My response to number one, I should say for number two, my response was I was 5 years old when I got my polio vaccination, too young to know or cared, and I do believe in science. My motto is trust but verify. This is Eric, and thank you for listening to the craziness that lives inside my head.